will be all about how to maximize your next open house. We're continuing the conversation with lead sources, and this is one of our core 4 open houses. So what if I gave you the opportunity to talk to an average of, let's say, 10 people who are considering selling their home, plus a whole bunch of other interested buyers every single weekend? Would you be interested? Would that be worth your time? Well, here's what I'm getting at. Springtime means open house season. Are you guys excited? Are you? Right? Or do you dread the fact that homeowners want you to hold an open house and feel like you're wasting time every weekend sitting at these empty houses, right? So if you dread it, it's only because you're not capitalizing on this huge opportunity in front of you, right? It is up to you to make the most of the open house. So I'm going to share with you 3 tips on how to prepare for a successful open house, right? So tip number 1, throw a party. Right? Don't create, don't create another boring open house. Instead, think of it like a party. Create your strategy. Know these things. Right? Number 1 is, know the customers that you're gonna be attracting, know your budget, and know who you're trying to attract. Right? So what are we looking at in throwing a party? Maybe it's a food truck. You have a food truck there at present. Maybe it's throwing some balloons and stuff around there. Make it a party. Right? Maybe you're connecting with the neighborhood and inviting them and letting them know, hey, listen, we're just going to celebrate that your neighbor's moving, whatever that may be. So throw a party. Number 2 is plan your food, plan the fun, right? To attract more people, like I said, hire a food truck, right? That can feed a bunch of people, right? Maybe create a contest that offers people to, entice for prizes like, I don't know, like a gift card to a local business or something, right? And the contest can be, hey, guess the price of the home that it ends up selling for, whatever it may be. And the 3rd thing I wrote down is obviously send invitations, right? Just like you would with any party, make sure you send an invitation. Now, this can obviously be done by mail or you personally dropping it off and going over there, right? So we want to be able to, again, make this a successful kind of a mega open house versus your traditional boring open house where you just put a sign in the lawn and you kind of wait, right? Let's ramp this up, especially right now. It is a great lead source, right? So what are some ways to attracting the right people for you? Like how can we attract buyers and sellers to come? Because remember this, the outcome of an open house should be a listing and a buyer, getting a potential listing seller and potential buyer. That should be in your mindset. It can't be just, hey, I want to talk to a whole bunch of buyers. No. I want to get a qualified listing appointment out of this open house. And I want to get a qualified buyer appointment out of this open house. So it's real key is to have a clear understanding of your outcome of this open house, right? So let's look at ways we can attract people, right? So the first one, without question, is video and video invite. You shoot kind of a teaser video. It's like, hey, I'm in front of 103 Norman Drive. I'd like to come see this home. Nah. Come see me Saturday, 2 to 4. I'll be here. Come look at this house. So you're selling the home. It's a teaser video for that particular house. Make it fun. Be yourself, right? Show the neighborhood. Hey, this is there. And I love this versus a professional video, right? Off the cuff, grab my cell phone, stand in front of the house and sell them. You need to come see this home. I'm going to be here Saturday, 2 to 4, right? So we're sending out an invite. And where would you send this invite? Real simple. Send it to your database. Send it to the neighbors, target audience in the area, right? Put it on all your social media platforms, right? And if you do this regularly, so I'm going to say a teaser video just before the open house. I would then a teaser video the day before the open house, let people give them some notice, right? Then the second teaser video would come in perhaps the day of the open house, like right when you show up to the house. It's 2 o'clock on a Saturday. Maybe you go into the backyard and it's like, hey folks, I'm in the backyard of this great property, 103 Norman Drive. You're gonna come see me. I'm here right now, 2 to 4. And again, throw that out on your social media. And then the third video I would do would be halfway through the open house. Halfway through the open house, what you want to do is go live. Go live on Instagram, go live on Facebook, and walk through the house. It's like, wow, look at this house. Look at this kitchen, right? What do you think? And then people are going to be commenting and asking questions like, hey, Danny, how much is that house? Right? And you're like, hey, and you're just saying it out loud. So this becomes a great video, almost like a walkthrough video during your open house, especially when there's people around. It's even better, right? They're showing how busy it is at this open house. So we're looking at to improve and attract more people is shoot some videos. Number 2, I wrote down is connect with the neighbors. Go door knock the surrounding homes and meet face to face and connect with those neighbors, right? And invite them to that open house, bring that invitation, right? And by doing this, what you're doing is you're planting the seeds with the neighbors, right? So connecting with neighbors would be really important. Number 3, I wrote down is create targeted Facebook ads and send your open house video to everyone within that kind of that neighborhood, right? So makes you look like that hyper local agent, that agent of choice in the area, right? So it's basically selecting the geographical area through targeted Facebook ads. So target Facebook ads would be key. Next I wrote down is number 4 is tell your story. You know, on Instagram, the stories, create an Instagram story, right? You know, make it fun, right? And exciting for the open house. Again, using that teaser video, right? Be sure to clearly communicate all the most important information, you know, the day, the time, the address of this open house, and put that onto your story. Okay. Next thing in attracting more buyers would be is make it worth their while. You know, just having a traditional open house can be boring. But if you make it worth their while, like having a food truck there as an example, having giveaways, perhaps, or prizes, you know, guess what the home's going to sell for kind of idea, right? Make it worth their while for them to come there, right? Number 6 I wrote down is put your signs literally everywhere. Most agents put a couple of signs at the front of the house and then a couple at the end of the streets, and that's it. No. Go wide on this. Like really put your signs out there. We're talking about like 20, 30 signs if you can, right? Again, sending people to your open house, right? Really get out there. So you're going to need to take some time just to put up your signs, right? Or have someone else do it for you, right? So you don't want to be just, you know, kind of showing up half hour before the open house to get your thing ready, to get this this open house ready. It needs some time, right? So plan that. Right. Next, I wrote down number 7 is impress the prospects in your database. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're going to be doing an open house, invite everyone in your database, everyone, right? Those 200, 300, 400 people, invite them to the open house. And if you're doing an open house every weekend, make sure you're sending out that invite to everyone in the open house, right? Connect with them. When you're having conversations with people, you'll be surprised how many times that comes up. Hey, I saw you did another open house. Hey, I saw your video on open house. Connect with everyone. And then the last one I wrote down, and this is completely optional, is if you want to send out a postcard in the area with that invitation. You don't have to do this. If you are connecting face to face, great. But if you're not, then you really should, right? You should get out there and send out this postcard, right? Now, I talked about how to attract people to the open house. And one of the things I mentioned was make it worth their while, right? It doesn't matter how many people are attracted to the open house. If you don't, capture their information, then the open house really isn't in your benefit. So here's a couple things you can use. One, instead of using paper and pen for people to sign in, right? I would have an iPad there with a program that they can go and type in there, right? Something like Open Home Pro would be a great app to download into your iPad and just have people type in there. Now, I'm not a fan of asking people just to sign in. I rather have some sort of competition, something that makes sense. Now, you can have some CTAs as well, But a call to action that I would use would maybe be get a free buyer's guide, or a free first-time home buyer's guide, or maybe a seller's guide, or get pre-approved. Like, you're giving them some sort of value. Don't give me your information unless you want this. So I'm not a fan of forcing people to go in and sign in. Now, a simple sign-in could be the competition. I love the competition. Hey guys, I have this amazing gift basket sitting there, and I'm going to give this to the person that figures out what the price of this home is going to sell for. The closest person to that price is going to win this, right? And that would entice them to now give me the correct information, right? Because we've all been through this, right? I force you to sign some paperwork. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, John Hancock. That's me, right? That's me. That's who I am, right? So that's not true. They're going to give you fake information. But if you have something of value, like the contest, like, hey, we're going to give you a free CMA on your property, and if you're interested in it, put in your information. I'll send that off to you, right? That would be cool. Now, what's holding you back? What is some common issues that most agents have with doing open houses? Because I know some of you are like, Danny, I ain't doing an open house. I get it, right? So what are some common issues? And the first one I get all the time is I don't have any listings to do an open house, right? Would that be a problem? Yeah, without question, that's a problem. So a couple of ways you could do it. So one, obviously, is within your office, right? I would recommend that as soon as a brand new listing comes on, connect with that agent, right? And give them big props and say, hey, William, congratulations on that listing at 103 Norman Drive. That's awesome. Great job. Priced perfectly. That's going to sell real quick. I'm just curious, are you planning on doing an open house? Because you'd be surprised at how many agents, especially the top agents, don't do open houses, right? There are agents that's not part of their pillars. So finding the agents that don't do open houses, and as soon as one of the listings come up, giving them props like, congratulations, great job on that listing. Are you planning to do an open house? If they say, no, we're not planning to do open house. Hey, do you mind if I did an open house for you and your seller? Right? So that's the simplest way. If you don't have any listings, look around the office. Now, if some of you are like, well, Danny, I work at a mom and pa, Main Street real estate, and we don't have very many listings. We're a small brokerage. Cool. Go to your MLS. You must have some relationship with some other agents on your MLS. If that's the case, then connect with someone outside of your office. At the end of the day, there are agents that get listings every single week, and they don't do open houses. Go find them, right? Another one is people don't sign in. I love that. If people don't sign in, well, yes, they don't sign in. What do they care? If it's not compelling, why would they? So to solve that problem, real simple, is maybe use the iPad, and maybe that technology in itself will help them sign in for you. Use some call to actions, right? Like I said, buyer's guide, seller's guide, first-time home buyer's guide, or maybe a contest, whatever it may be. Don't force feed them. Or better yet, why don't you talk to them? Build that rapport with that buyer or that seller. And if things start going your way in that conversation, just simply direct them to the iPad and say, hey, you know what? I'd love to send you that information. Do you mind just filling your information in my iPad and I'll get it to you, right? See, don't force people to sign in. Just have that conversation, work with them, right? What's the other one I have here? People say that they have an agent. Yeah, they do. Did you ever get that? Hey, buyer walks in, I got an agent. And they're walking away. Well, really, do they? Like in the legal sense, do they? Or they just happen to know an agent? What's that conversation like? So when people say that they have an agent, I want you to question that and find out, you know what, let me build rapport with them first. Let me build that trust with them first before I get any information. Because you'll be surprised of how many people walk in and it's like the automatic no. Have you guys ever walked into like a shoe store, had every intention in buying a pair of shoes, but then as soon as the person comes up to you and says, can I help you? And like, no, I'm good. It's the automatic no. And that's what buyers have developed when they go to open houses. It's like, oh, I got an agent, because they know if they say that, you leave them alone. And we don't want to do that. What we want to do is just probing questions, have the conversation, right? Build that rapport, and you'll see how many people all of a sudden don't have agents anymore, right? So don't ask that question. Are you working with an agent? Don't ask that, because they're going to give you the automatic no, right? Don't put them in that awkward situation, right? Just have, open-ended questions. Has anyone taken the time to sit down with you and share with you the process in purchasing a home in today's marketplace? See, that those are open-ended questions that you want to be asking the buyer or the seller, because some of them are sellers, right? And again, just build that trust with them. You'd be surprised how many do not have agents. All right. Does anyone have any questions regarding open houses? This is fun. All right. Just remember, next, I think tomorrow and on Wednesday, we're going to be talking about both online and social media, because those are our top kind of lead sources. If no one has any questions, please unmute yourselves. It's Monday. We're all excited. It's Monday, right? And I'm just curious, what day is today, baby?
Money making day.
Money making day.
That's right. It's a money-making day. So who do you have to connect with today to move the needle in your business? You guys are awesome. I'll talk to all of you tomorrow. Thanks so much.